Alrighty, so 91B, we're talking about spheres. And remember, spheres are like balls, okay, or globes, something like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the volume of a sphere and also the surface area of the sphere. So these are, quite frankly, formulas that I don't even remember. In my recollection on ACT tests, they will give you formulas like this because they're considered a little bit harder. In your book, I would memorize them because they're going to use them throughout the rest of your book. And if you're constantly having to look back, it's a pain. So just memorize them. They're not that hard. And your book does a pretty good job detailing how they came up with these formulas. So it's kind of interesting to read. So the volume of a sphere is volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Remember, volume is always in cubed. So hopefully that reminds you to use the r cubed. And r, of course, means radius, right? The surface area of the sphere, surface area, is 4 pi r squared. Again, area is squared, and the radius is squared in that one. So that maybe will help you. I don't know. Okay, the first practice, it's asking us in D here, it's asking us to find the volume of the sphere whose radius is 4 inches. So I always start out writing my formula, friends, even for areas, even for perimeters, even for everything, because then it keeps me organized and also teacher can follow my work. So if you just start writing numbers down and I don't understand where you came up with them, and remember, you shouldn't make your teacher have to work hard to understand your work. Then I can't give you the partial credit that maybe you've earned if I can't follow it. If I at least see the formula and then I can follow the numbers, it helps me understand, oh, that number came from that part of the formula. Oh, that person didn't cube the radius. Instead, she multiplied times 3. So I can figure these things out easier if I know what you're doing. All right, so that's the formula. My radius is 4, so I go ahead and substitute that in. Again, good work. I'm showing the substitution. 4/3 pi times 64, which is 4 cubed. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. Okay, I went ahead and I just like to use fractions here. So 256 over 3. So I multiplied my numerators. So 4 times 64 is 256 over 3 pi. And that can't be simplified. I tried. Or I can do 456 over 3 times our equivalency of pi, 3.14. When I do that, I get 267.95 inches cubed. And this book tends to like when we round to the hundredths place. So that's pretty consistent. So they took the pi, substituted the equivalency. I tend to like when you leave it in pi. It's called the form of pi, or the terms of pi, they call it in math. I like that. I like leaving it like that and just saying 256 over 3 pi inches cubed. That's what you're going to be doing later in this book and also in Algebra 2. But this book is still allowing you to do the 3.14 so that we can feel that kind of number that makes more sense to us. So that is practice D, okay? Practice E talks about surface area. So in this case, we're going to write out our formula, 4 pi r squared. The surface area that we're looking for has a radius of 5. So I'm substituting that in. Okay, 4 pi times 25, 5 squared, right? I'm using order of operations. Do those exponents first. Now I took my 4 times my pi and I got 100 pi. And I'm saying again what I just said. I like this form. I would be great if you kept it in that form. I think it's cleaner. It's not an approximation. It's a more advanced. Like, it's a great form. But if you still want to substitute your 3.14, that's fine, okay? And then you can get 314 feet squared. Remember, area is always in squared feet, okay? So that is our surface area, okay? Next up with lesson 92.